Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Man, it's been so long I wasn't sure if everything was going to work or not. I've had so many things plugged in and unplugged because of a laser. Jobo Run, Cat, Mark, Wichita, Kills, thanks for that 18-month Tier 1 sub. Southpaw, sorry to hear that, Cat, but that's not as bad as being diabetic. Let's see, we got Mama, which just gave me a 14-month Tier 1 sub. Blaze, how y'all doing, man? Crazy. Hey, how you doing, Cat? Here's another sub. And it looks like we got a hype train. Hey, JoJo, thanks for that 12-month Tier 1. Yeah, let's see if we can get the hype train a little bit higher, and then I'll do. Well, let's go ahead and do a hype train. What the heck? I haven't done it in a while. Does it still work? So, welcome to the Weather Command Center here in Southwest Ohio. For anybody that might be new, we're going to cover tropical, and I'll talk a little bit about my laser. I've added some stuff to it so I can do a little bit more. Still trying to get the engraving worked out, but I'm getting there. And then we're going to talk about the wolves. I got a wolf update for y'all. It looks like Wolf Creek is going to be able to reopen supposedly this weekend, and I will be there, especially to support them. I wished I would have been feeling better when they got flooded out last month. I would have taken the drone over there and got some aerial footage of the flood. But good thing the chickens was the only ones that we lost. Hey, how you doing, Rick? I haven't seen you in a while, bud. Um, I've been dealing with migraine headaches for almost 2 weeks. I'm feeling good today, except for my nose is running. Uh, but I wasn't able to help Nathan one day, and thank God Desert was there to help him. Kudos to Desert. He's been taught well. I totally trust him to do my job. He did an excellent job. I was laying in bed and listening to Zello. And so he got 5 tornadoes that day, and I missed out on it. I couldn't even get out of bed, man. My headache was so bad. Oh, God. And now I'm coming down with something. I'm trying to. I ain't there yet, but daggone sinuses. So, anyway, weather here has been tremendously nice. The other day, let's see, it was yesterday, I only got 69 degrees. It was mist and rain, but man, that 69 felt nice. And right now it's, let's see, let me refresh this, 71. The highest I got today was 74. Humidity's not bad at all. It's kind of weird for August in Southwest Ohio. Um, so let's get on with it. I'm losing people. So let's get over to the main screen, because here we go. We got 3 named storms in the East Pacific. Hey, Autumn. Hey, thanks for 24 months of Tier 1 subs. Greatly appreciate that. So here's Greg. Whoops. There you go. You're able to see it. That's Greg. Just a little feller, a little tropical storm. I'll give you the stats here in a little bit. This is Fernanda. It's going to weaken. It's drifting slightly north. It is headed for Hawaii, but it'll be post-tropical by the time it gets there. It'll bring in some much-needed rain. And then right there is Hillary. And I tell you what, every time I say that name, I think of Hillary Clinton. And it looks like this one's going to be a bitch, too. But she's slated to be up to Cat 3 or maybe stronger. Some of the model runs are pretty impressive, even though this thing is it's going to go this way. And that's going to bring much needed rain for this whole area. You know, Arizona, Southern California. It's looking pretty healthy. It's looking pretty healthy. But yeah, she's going to bring some much needed rain because Phoenix has been dry. I mean, like super dry. Hey, JB Head, 2 months, Tier 1 sub. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. And let's get on with the over here on Monitor 6. This is a 7-day outlook. We got a couple area here, both of them 50% in the next 7 days, in the next week. But I tell you what, there's a lot of Saharan dust up in here this stuff's going to hit into, so yeah, I don't know. And look at here, this is interesting. 20% in 7 days. Actually, what's going to happen is there's going to be a wave that's going to come up here and cross over Florida. So this will be one to watch because it could hit the Gulf Coast of Texas or Louisiana. We'll have to wait and see what's going on. Waters in the Gulf are extremely warm. I'm talking 90 degrees in most of the Gulf, 89 to 90 degrees. So over here on the East Pac, Greg is over to the left of this. There's Fernanda. 50 mile per hour wind. It's weakened down quite a bit. Moving west at 14 miles per hour. And 1,000 millibars, it's not real strong. Not real strong at all. Back behind Hillary, we got another area that's got a 20% next week. But here's Hillary. Now, it's only 40 mile per hour winds right now, but this thing is slated to get really strong, at least Cat 3, 120 to 130 mile per hour winds. And it's moving west-northwest at 15 miles per hour, 1,002 millibars, which is pretty weak. And then Greg, poor old Greg, here's Greg, 45 mile per hour wind. Moving west, 14 miles per hour. It's going to continue to weaken. It's just don't have the right environment. The waters are getting a lot warmer over in this direction, but the further west it gets, the weaker it's going to get. So there's been a lot of talk for months about, let's get over to studio, a lot of talk in the last several months about El Nino and how bad it is. Well, it's not there yet. Matter of fact, the Southern Oscillation Index, or SOI, is actually positive numbers right now instead of negative. So it just isn't there yet. And so let's get over to Monitor 6 again. And first off, let's look at the current storms. Fernanda, it's really lopsided and weak, but I'm interested in Hillary. This is the infrared satellite loop. You can see some spin up in there. A lot of strong storms. The bolder those colors are, those are really tall cloud tops, which means they're strong storms. So that is going to be beneficial for Southern California and the desert area, and over into Arizona. Here's some of the model tracks on this thing. Look at this. Most of them are agreeing it's going to, skirt along the coast and go right into SoCal. And then remember, the worst side of a tropical storm is the eastern side of it, or the northeast quadrant, is the strongest of the winds in that. Arizona, I tell you what, they are so much of in a drought. they didn't have a monsoon season at all, and so that ground is like a brick. It's not going to soak up that water. And some of the model runs I've looked at showing parts of Arizona, including Phoenix area, getting a foot of rain from Hillary. Like I said, she's going to be a bitch. That'll be kind of devastating. But here's the model track on it, and you can see these M's here. That stands for major hurricane. I knew I forgot. I always forget to get a page up. Let me bring in Zoom. So, hey, we got up to a level 2 hype train. Greatly appreciate that. So, here's one of these. This has actually got an Invest now, 98L on this one, and the other one's over to the east side of it. But look at Hillary's track coming up through here. That's amazing. It's pretty rare to get one to hit the California coast. It'll most likely be a tropical storm by the time it gets up there. But some of these numbers is crazy. Look at that, 105 mile per hour on Friday. Saturday, 120 mile per hour. Again, Saturday afternoon, 120 mile per hour. And then she'll start dropping down. And the reason for that is a lot cooler waters over in here. Let's take a look at the sea surface temps. So here's the SOI that I was talking about. The index is above 0. So that's not a good sign for El Nino. So here is the anomalies. And you can still see, I better do this in blue. You can still see these blues. This is cooler than average waters in this. And Hillary's down in here, and it's going to head right into that. And that's the reason why it's going to weaken. This is Hawaii. So Greg's down here right now in these warmer waters. But as it gets further, it's going to start picking up some cooler than average waters. Still pretty warm. But El Nino is this area. Well, let me erase this. El Nino is this stretch right in here. And in the past month, this area in here hasn't been warm enough to be an El Nino. So it's getting there. It's starting to warm up. This is all above average temps. Now, we still have some pretty warm waters for the most part over here in the Atlantic side. Plenty strong enough for fuel, but we've got so much Saharan dust. It's crazy. Let's take a look at satellite imagery. Let's look at Atlantic wide. And we'll look at the infrared. See this milky stuff? Let me grab a pen here. My mouse is acting up. Look at all this milky stuff right in there. That's Saharan dust. So this is 98L, and it's going to be moving this way. It's going to run right into that. And one way to tell if you can't see the milkiness there is, let me zoom in on this. Look at the lack of clouds. I mean, we got these really strong clouds down here in the main development region. But see the lack of clouds? These ones that you're seeing are real high up. And so, yeah, right in here, that's all Saharan dust. So I don't have high hopes for 98L and the other one that we're watching. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen over here in the Gulf. So, really warm waters down here in the Gulf, but we got this trough. I'll pause it here. We got this trough right here that's been bringing some storms down to Florida and up along the East Coast, but not real bad. Not real bad. So, any questions so far? Let's get back over here to the studio. I drank too much coffee. I got the jitters. So as far as storm chases go, we can take a look at that real quick. Back over here on monitor 6. You can see the next 3 days over here on the left. Today we've got this slide up here, a little 2%. But day 2, yeah, I'm going to probably get wet tomorrow. No tornado risk. Day 3 is even worse. Just some general thunderstorm risk. We got that marginal way up here in the Northeast, but only 5% probability of getting very severe stuff as of right now. So again, I hope to go see the wolves. I'm running out of pictures to try to cut. But here's one that I managed to cut last week. I hope you can see this. That's Coda. He's king of the bench. So that came out pretty decent. Let me see here. I posted this over on Discord, and but many of you may not have seen it. Here's one, God Bless America, that I did on wood. I'm not too happy with it, but this basswood has got so much grain to it, and you can see some of the grain is darker than the other. Hey, Stacy. But that come out fairly decent. But I love doing black scratch paper. That's the same thing on black scratch paper. That come out really nice. I got to do some more black scratch paper. Now, I added some stuff to the laser. I actually got a cover over it now, and an evacuation system going out the window. And hey, how you doing? So now I can cut acrylic. When you cut acrylic, it puts out some really dangerous fumes, and it's also driving me nuts. Let me see if I can set this up where you can see. No, the reason why I'm working on acrylic, clear acrylic, is I've got these pods. This is one of them, and it's got LED lights in it. And when you stick the clear acrylic down in there, then and it's etched with laser, it lights up. Really sweet. But I'm having a hard time with acrylic. So this was a project I did yesterday. Let me see if I can get this to show. I got black paper behind it, so it maybe help it to show. If I can get rid of the glare. Hang on. Let's try this. That's Nathan's logo, which turned out pretty nice on this let's get over, I gotta do this backwards, I keep forgetting that. That's Nathan's logo, and it's going to be pretty sweet. I finally got the laser speed and power setting right to actually do this pretty well. I had one little pop in it, which means that you get the acrylic too hot, it pops and cracks. So I went ahead This is one of the pieces that fits down in that LED pod. Hey, we got a tornado warning up in Wisconsin. Went ahead and painted this one black. I doubt if you can see it, but I tried with the same power level. Now this stuff is the same thickness as that big sheet, that my scratch sheet I showed you. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. There's a whole bunch of pops in here where the acrylic started exploding, and I was using the same power and speed that I did on the test. But I went ahead and painted this black on the back. Since it's junk now, I can't use it because of the pops in it. But I'm going to use this as a test piece tonight with the black on the backside. The thing about a diode laser is it goes straight through acrylic, clear acrylic. You got to have black underneath it, and it actually etches on the backside because the laser beam, which is blue, it's a blue diode laser, bounces off the black paper and actually etches. So I'm going to experiment with that. That's the reason why I painted it black. This is a brand new piece that I got ready. All I got to do is peel one side of the protective coating on it. But yeah, it's pretty nice when it sits down in that pod. I tell you what, I've seen several examples of what it looks like, and it'll light up really nice. It comes with a get over here. It comes with a little remote, and you can change the colors, or you can have it to where it every so often it changes the colors and totally control it. It's really cool. These, when I get the clear to etch right and look right, I'll be selling those probably to start out with about $20 a piece, but they'll be really cool. It'd be well worth it. Another project that I did is this wolf on basswood, and that didn't come out too bad. Now I've already clear coated this, so that come out pretty nice. Hey Storm, yeah, I tell you what, I'm having a blast with this laser, but I'm also pulling my hair out over it, trying to get the power and speed settings. And there's a lot of YouTube videos, but they don't show my laser. Every laser's different on the settings, so I have to waste a lot of wood and now a lot of clear acrylic. I bought quite a few of these 12 by 12 sheets of acrylic, and I got to figure out how to cut, because this one actually come out pretty nice that I showed you. I got to try to cut that out to where it'll fit down in that stand and see what it looks like for you guys. I might do that tonight as well, and then my next stream I'll be able to show you what it looks like. But that's pretty much it. I can't show you the outside cover on the laser, but it's a great big cover. It's got an exhaust hose that goes up to a fan that blows out the window, all flexible tubing, and it worked out really sweet. I finally got it yesterday set up. So I got it in yesterday and then got it set up. So I've got all the hardware now. And this is, for those of you that were with me here a while back, I had to send the one laser back. And so this replacement is working so much better, so much better. And what else do I don't think I got anything else to show you guys right now. I'm going to pick up some pine, maybe some balsa. A lot of people use basswood, which all the wood projects I'm showing you is on basswood, but I don't like the grain in it because some of the grain is harder than others and it burns different, so you get stripes in it. I did do Actually, what I did with this one to get this one to look right, there's a little trick. Borax. Borax is an old. I mean, I remember when I was a little kid seeing the 21 Mule Team commercials, and but it's actually a detergent. But you take and mix it in water and then coat this and then let it dry. And when you burn it, I mean, it turns black. So then you take duct tape and just tap on it to wipe off the soot, otherwise it'll smear. And then you clear coat it to keep it from smearing anymore. So so that's another little trick that I worked with before I got sick. But that's what's going on. Again, Wolf Creek Habitat looks like it's going to be opening up. I miss my buddy Nash. There's Nash. He's the one that I sponsored. Thank goodness all the wolves are okay. No, I never did hear anything from Kathy. I'll find out Saturday if I get to go over there. Well, it damaged both cabins, but there was a report before I show you something else here. Let's get over to studio. There was a report. Wolf Creek runs into a river not far from the habitat. And there was a report that two people were staying in a cabin and it got washed down the creek into the river. Well, they found one dead, and I never did see another report whether they found the other person alive or what. Several days later, they wasn't able to find them, so I got the feeling both of them died. And I don't know if that was one of Kathy's cabins or not. I'll have to find out Saturday when I go over there. So over here on Monitor 6, this is Wolf Creek Habitat's Facebook page. And they still got the GoFundMe account. They only raised a little over 4,000 the last that I looked at it yesterday, and they need 8,000. I donated what I could, but here's the latest picture. Now, this is one of the pups, believe it or not. That's how much they've grown since 2nd of April when he was born. Now, this pup, I'm not sure which one it is. I think that's the male, Creso. But he used to sit in this chair with Kathy, the owner. And so he wants to still sit in the chair, but he's getting so big he can't hardly fit in it. Look at that thing. He's almost as big as the female. They do have the three pups in with the that's the mother right there, Aurora. So here's a picture. The left side is the three pups, and we've got Coda. I think this is Coda down here. He's darker than Akeen. This is the Keen up here, female, and they have really taken care of these pups. You can see there, and this was August 3rd is when this picture was posted. So this is Kathy with one of the pups. Look how much they've grown. And you can see she must have been working because she's got mud all over her face. So haven't heard about their house yet. Haven't heard any more about the security wall here that was messed up. They've raised $4,500 and $90 out of 8,000, and that's some of the damage right there. So the reason why they need so much money is their furnace was in the basement. Naturally, the central air conditioning works through the furnace, and their furnace is totally destroyed. And it's going to cost $6,000 just for a new air conditioning furnace. So they've been over there roasting with the high temps that we've had lately. So, yeah, this is Mama Wolf. Let me get it over here so you can have it here on the studio. That's Aurora. She's beautiful. That's the mother of the pups. So I think that's it. It kind of sounds like Kathy and her husband Terry and all the volunteers. They had so many people volunteering. There was one group that they had been training for doing recovery stuff, and they needed a project. So I think it was a bunch of students, and so they needed a new project. Well, they got one. They was able to, as far as I know, go over there, a whole bunch of them, and help Kathy and Terry out. So even though the office building was damaged, apparently they've got it fixed well enough to be able to reopen, because that's where you got to go in and sign up before you can go in with the wolves. So I can't wait. It's been so long since I've been in there. Oh God, they're amazing animals. Now these wolves were raised by hand, from pups, and so they're friendly. But they let you know if they're tired of you and don't want nothing more to do with you. They just walk away, and they really, I don't know. It's so hard to understand because, or explain. They're nothing like dogs at all. Their temperament, even though they was raised, from babies. Yeah, I watched the movie Gray. Matter of fact, I got it on one of my hard drives. Great movie. And their temperament is so different, even though they was raised like a regular dog pup. It's strange that they still keep that wild nature of theirs, and they'll let you know if you do something wrong. But there's one female now. She growls and makes noises. We call her the drama queen, and it scares a lot of people when they first meet her because they think she's getting ready to attack, and she's not. So I tell you what, in the wild, a wolf will go away, just like coyotes do. If you're walking through the woods and there's a wolf or a coyote, most likely you'll never see them, and because they disappear. So coyotes, which we have a lot around here, they have actually late of a night come to the back of the apartment complex searching for food. But wolves, they're amazing animals. There's some videos on YouTube. This one woman was actually filming in the wild and ran up on a pack of wolves and got to know them. And they actually came to her and kissed her. They like licking, and got to know her really well. And she was gone for several years, and she happened to go back to see how that pack of wolves were doing. And boy, they remembered her, man. They come running up and jumped up on her and was all excited like a dog would, Yes, they are incredibly intelligent animals. Um, so I tell you what, I never had the first time I went in with one of the wolves, which was Zonta. Hey, Bravo. Hey, thanks for 22 months tier one sub. Greatly appreciate that. I got to get my numbers back up. But I wasn't scared. I was cautious, but I wasn't scared when I went in with Zonta. And he came to me first, and he did a scent rub on me, and I was amazed. I was amazed that he came to me first. And me and him's got a special connection, and now me and Nash does up here. And that's one reason why I sponsored him. Zonta and his sister got moved, and where I couldn't go in with them anymore. They switch them around because they don't want them to get bored with people, so they switch them around. Anyway, Nash now, my buddy Nash, he does a scent rub. He actually climbs up on top of my head and rubs the heck out of me, pops my neck every time. Yeah, they can sense if they think you're scared. But I tell you what, I've been in with them so many times. I know all the stories. And sometimes I got to remind the volunteer of a story. But new people that's never seen one before will go in my group. And I'll talk to them first outside and, let them know. Just don't be scared. And you let the wolves do what they want to do. If they want to come to you, they will. If they don't want to, forget about it. And I kind of calmed one woman down. And so, but she was still kind of scared when she went in there. And old Nash went up to her and licked her on her face, and she actually got a French kiss. She happened to be talking. That happened to me once too. And the female come up and loved on her, and I tell you what, that woman just fell in love with the wolves. And when we went into the next enclosure, she wasn't scared anymore, and she had a great time. So yeah, they do what they want to do. If they want to come to you, they will, which Nash always does. Now the bad thing is once Nash is done a rub on me, we go in the next enclosure, whatever enclosure it is, the male in there will not come to me. He smells Nash on me, and he won't come near me. The female will, but yeah, none of the males come to me. So I was going to go into one, with a different group that goes into another enclosure first and then come see Nash. But the reason why I don't do that is because it gets hot very quick over there. So the best time to be with Nash is the first time he gets to be with anybody. So I go to him first. Well, not the ones here at Wolf Creek. Now, like the other two of the 5 pups got sent for a breeding program at a place in northern Illinois. And that place will raise some pups full grown and release them back into the wild. They're all interconnected and for breeding purposes to be released. So yeah, the male wolves, I've only had one female wolf that scent rubbed me. The rest of them want to kiss me. They want to lick on my face and kiss me and chew on my hair. But mostly the male wolves do the scent rubbing. And I was really surprised last time I was there that the female did it. Well, the male wouldn't come to me because I done been in to see Nash. But you gotta get there early this time of year. And right now, the horseweed is so freaking high. It gets over 8 foot tall. Here's a picture of Sailor, and you can see the weeds in the background. Now he's up on a platform that's about waist high, and you can see those weeds in the background is already, getting really tall. Matter of fact, the last time I was there, uh, they hadn't trimmed any of the weeds, and so it was like walking into a jungle. I actually had to walk through the weeds, the horseweed, to even get to the platform where the wolves was. And it was kind of eerie the first time I went in. Was on to the weeds were really high. It was back last August, and so it's been about a year I've been going over there. But Zonta was hiding in those weeds, and you could not see him, but he could see us. And finally, I caught his eyeballs, and he was moving around and staring at us. And then he come right to me. So it was pretty amazing. Let me see if I can find a video here. Now, Sean didn't go in with me, so he had to film through the fence. I'm in the red shirt, which I made a mistake that day. You ain't supposed to wear red. I don't know why. He didn't care. That's a Keen. And Nash is the black one. Now watch what he does. He chases her off. He comes over. That's the volunteer sitting next to me. And then watch what he does to me. This is a scent rub. That's my grandson that's sitting on the bench to the right. You can see, man, he lays on me, and he's about 150 pounds. Now, it's not on this video, but after that, he walked away, kind of checked everybody else out, come right back to me, and that's when he climbed up on top of me. I tell you, man, my neck popped. I was sore for a couple of days. Best chiropractor I've had in years. Yeah, me and Nash has a special connection. He always comes to me first. Matter of fact, not the last time, but the time before, they have a double gate to keep him from getting out. So when we got to the outer gate, he was standing at the inner gate and staring at me and just whining and getting all excited and everything, going back and forth. And then when we got on into the enclosure, man, he came right to me and sniffed me and rubbed up on me. And then we went over to the platform. He had already got to the platform before we got there, and he was staring at me the whole time and getting all excited. And as soon as I got up there, man, he just climbed on top of me. So me and him has a real special connection. So I've got about 6 wolves out of the 14 that do come to me and get pretty excited when they see me. Not like Zonta and Nash, but I got about 6 of them now. The rest of them that I've been in with, and like I say, they smell Zonta or Nash on me, either one, and they don't want to come near me. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you ever get a chance to go to a wolf habitat or sanctuary, I would advise it. For me, it's kind of spiritual because the wolf is my spirit animal. So every time I go over there, I get a certain calmness and feeling deep inside, and I've heard a lot of other people say that too. So it's not just me. So if you got one near you, check it out. Check it out. Now, over where I go, they have a catwalk, or they call it a wolf walk, but it's up high. It doesn't cost anything unless you're going into a cage. So you can get up there on the catwalk and go down, and they got all these different enclosures, and you can see all the wolves. And I get up there, and as soon as Zonta hears me talking, man, he starts looking for me. He remembers me from last year. So that's the best way to start out, is to go visit and everything. And then not all habitats or sanctuaries allows you to go in with them. They have some wolves over there at Wolf Creek that I'll never be able to get in with, because they came from the wild. They were rescued. One was injured, and they brought a vet in, nursed him back to health. But he is straight out of the wild, and very few people. Kathy's husband, Terry, goes in and feeds him. I don't even know if Kathy's ever been with him or not. I'll have to ask her if I remember. All right, folks, that's all I've got for tonight. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that. Let's get it back over here on the Atlantic side. I'm going to keep an eye on this thing here. This could get interesting. It's getting that time of year. The tropical systems are going to start ramping up. September 10th is when we hit our peak on average for tropical weather. And here we've already got 3 areas to watch in the Atlantic. We got 3... including Greg over here south of Hawaii. We got 3 named storms and another area to watch. By the way, I can't go yet. Let's get back over here. Let me get, because I forgot. I wanted to talk about what happened in Maui. So don't go away just yet. A lot of people couldn't understand why Maui got hit with 70 and 80 mile per hour winds. And when Dora was 500 miles to the south. Well, I've showed you guys before the pressure gradients. When you got a high pressure and a low pressure pretty close to one another, figuratively, you get these isobar lines, lines of equal pressure, and they keep getting closer and closer, right? You see me show that for storms over the U.S. And when they get closer and closer together, the winds speed up. So Dora did have somewhat of an effect. And let's get over here to Maine. But the biggest thing that happened to Maui was the high pressure system. Yeah, I can read that. Let's do this in yellow. So we had a big old high up here, not too far north. So you had all these winds coming around like that. And now this is Greg, but Dora was about in the same place. And so you had its winds coming around that interacted with the high pressure winds. Now, another thing else, Dora, by the way, did not directly affect Maui. But let's get down here. And let's turn off the satellite a minute. You can see, okay, there's Lahaina. That's the city that was totally burned down. But I want you to look at this mountain range. That's actually an extinct volcano that's in this area. And so you had these winds coming down from the high pressure that was being sped up by the effect of Dora. And so they were coming down from the northeast. Well, they had to run up over this extinct volcano, and the air was so dry. You ever notice that when there's high pressure over you, you don't have a cloud in the sky? The reason for that, real quick, is high pressure is sinking air. As air sinks, it dries out. And so that's why with high pressure, you don't have any real clouds to speak of. And there wasn't when that wildfire spread as fast as it did. Okay. So when the winds were going over the extinct volcano and then was coming down on the western side, the winds were speeding up and drying out even more as they pushed out. So, not sure what started the wildfires yet, okay? But it had to go up over this mountain, and then it sunk and really spread the fire. Now, there was some fires that was over in here, as well as up in this area on the east side, but these didn't spread near as fast. But on that western side, I tell you, man, it was crazy how bad that was. What was it? 2,700 buildings are totally burnt to the ground. And there is, since the government isn't really helping them, and this is going to be my rant of the day, our government, it's been over a week, and there's over, last I heard, 106 people died. Yeah, he was at the beach. That's exactly where Biden was at. And he just yesterday, or maybe it was earlier today, spoke about it and how he's going to send help. Where is the C-17 military aircraft to bring supplies and anything that they need over there? So I tell you what, the people took it upon themselves. There was a great story that the Weather Channel did. And was it the Weather Channel? It's either the Weather Channel or Fox. I don't remember now. That was too many beers. But there was two 29-year-old gals that wanted to help people. And they didn't know what to do. Well, they knew a pilot. They was good friends with a pilot. Got him excited. He wanted to help. So he started flying to one of the other islands, talked to other pilots, and he's getting his plane loaded up with supplies, water, food, flying it back over, because there is an airport on Maui. And there's also people with boats going to these other islands and getting supplies and bringing them. Since our government wouldn't help them fast enough, these people took it upon themselves to help each other over there. It's an amazing story, I tell you, and I pray for all them people over there. It's a shame that 106 died. There was no warning at all. None of the sirens went off, but that fire spread so fast. I got the feeling that it knocked the power out before they could even set the sirens off, and I mean, it burned down everything. And I tell you what, it was amazing how resilient them people are being over there. Thousands managed to get out and flew to the Big Island. And actually, there at first, they were sleeping in the airport because they had nowhere to go. They lost everything. They didn't have no money, no clothes, nothing. They got out of there as fast as they could, and a lot of them couldn't get out. But they're getting a lot of help from the local people, and that is the great humanitarian story in today's world, with everything that's going on. So that's my Biden rant of the day. good old Sleepy Joe. So, yeah, they sent over $24 billion to Ukraine, and Biden's only wanting to give the people affected $700 each. Yeah, that's supposed to be for food and shelter. Hawaii is expensive to live there. How long do you think $700 is going to last? So, I tell you what, I've already heard stories which I thought, if I lived somewhere over there and people, a family needed a place to stay, I'd bring them in. If I had to sleep on the floor and let them have my bed. And I'm starting to hear stories of that. People are turning their homes into bed and breakfast B&Bs. And so it's crazy. We should have had C-17s flying supplies and help over there. It's so far away. Was it like 2,500 miles from the mainland? So it did take some time to fly, rescue people over there. So, yeah, the hell with Ukraine. That's a corrupt country anyway. There was a lot of the hackers are in Ukraine and all those other crooked countries over there. A lot of scammers and hackers over in there. I got hacked one time by somebody in Ukraine. So, anyway, that's all I got now. So, oh goodness. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and raid Nathan's TV channel. I want to thank everybody. Thank you for all the subs. It's great. And let's get this raid started over to Storm Chase TV. Thanks, everybody. Did the raid go through? What the hell? Let's try this again. They changed this up. There we go. Good night, everybody.